Hey guys, tonight's video is Chapter 10, Lesson 2, Median and Mode. Our objective is 6.12c. I can discuss how to find the measures of center for a set of data. Okay, when we are talking about measures of center, we're talking about three things. We have the mean, the median, and the mode. We already did the mean. Okay, we know another word for mean is average. Okay, and the way we find the average is we take the sum divided by the number of items we have to equal the mean. Okay. When we are finding the median, that means that we're looking for the middle value. Or, okay, so when we say middle value, that means if we have a set of numbers, which number would be in the middle of that ordered set of data? Okay, so it can be the middle value, or it's going to be the mean of two middle values. So that means if we have an even number or an even set of data, we have to find the average or the mean of the two middle numbers. Okay, and then we also have the mode. And another word for mode is most. Okay, and that means it's the number that appears the most in a set of data Another way we could say that is the most frequent. Actually, I'm going to take out the or frequent. Okay, so when we're talking about measures of spread, these are the three things, measures of center, these are the three things that we're talking about: mean, median, and mode. Okay, and they are called the measures of center because they describe the center of a set of data. Okay, let's look at some examples. So we already did mean in class, so now we're going to specifically look at median and mode. So we're going to find the median and the mode of the following test scores. Okay, so first we're going to find the median. Which is going to be the middle number or middle value. Okay, now before we can actually do that, we need to order our data in order from least to greatest. And why is that? Well, the median is the middle number in a set of ordered data. So in order to determine the median, the data set must be in order from least to greatest. Okay, I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and put 7 spaces to make sure that I list all of my numbers. 7. It's going to help us stay organized. Okay, so I'm looking for the smallest number, which is 85. Next we have 88. Next is 90. Then we have 93. 93, 94, and 97, okay? And I've crossed out all my numbers and I filled in all my blanks, so I know that I listed all of them. And we listed them in order from least to greatest, okay? Now we're looking for the number in the middle, so that means I'm gonna start marking off a number on each end until I land in the middle. Okay, so 1 on both sides, the next one, and the next one, okay? I have one number in the middle, 93, so that means this is our median, okay? And this worked out nicely because we had an odd number in our set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is an odd number, so that's why we only had 1 in the middle. That worked out nicely. Okay, now we're gonna look for the mode. Mode means the number that we see the most or frequent. So what do we have any numbers that repeat? Well, if we look back at our data set, the only number that I see that repeats is 93. So that means that 93 is our mode. It just so happened that our median and mode worked out to be the same today, and that's okay, that can happen. Does that mean that your mean or your average is also going to be 93? Not necessarily. It could be, but you would have to actually work that out to make sure. All right, let's look at another example. Now we're going to find the median and mode of the temperatures. Now what's our first step? Yep, we have to order them from least to greatest. Next, we need to count how many items we have in our data set. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So that means I need 6 spaces. Now we can list them in order from least to greatest, checking them off as we go. So 24 is the smallest. Then I have 31, 31, 33, 34, and 35. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the mode before I cross them out because I think it's easier to see. Do we have any numbers that repeat, or are there any numbers that we see more often or the most frequent? Well, the only number that we have that repeats at all is 31, so that means that 31 is our mode. Okay, now we can find our median or our middle number. So I'm going to start crossing off from each end. Okay, I'm left with 2 in the middle because we had an even number of items in our data set. Okay, so that means we have 2 middle numbers. So this is where we're going to find the mean. Okay, and how do we find the mean? Well, we take the sum that gives us 64. Now we're going to take the sum and divide it by our number of items. Well, we're only finding the mean of these 2, so that means I'm going to divide by 2 because we're only doing these 2 numbers. Okay, so if we actually work that out, two goes into 6 3 times. 2 times 3 does give me 6. We have 0 left over. Bring down your 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. We have a remainder of 0, so 64 divided by 2 is 32, so that means our median is 32, because that is the average or the mean of our 2 middle numbers. All right, guys, that's it for our video. Please make sure that you bring your notes to class, and I will see you then. Have a great night.